I now go to what's called the jewel of the Archdiocese. I have started this feature in order to bring out certain perhaps jewels. Some are hidden, some are not very obvious, some are in the form of our institutions, some are in the form of our shrines, some of us perhaps in the things that we don't even see, perhaps certain movements which are also jewels for our Archdiocese. This time I have taken a very special jewel which is not very far, which is in the center of the Archdiocese. That's called St. Germain's Academy, or the school, the PUC, etc. that we have. St. Germain's institutions. Perhaps someone might ask me, why this word Germain? Does it mean German? Actually the rickshaw drivers and the other poor people who do not know the proper significance of the word and the name, they say German school. And in fact, myself in the beginning, I thought this was a school that was founded by Germans, and that's why it's called a German school. It's interesting to know that it's called Germain school because of a certain priest who was Germain himself. He was a French missionary, and he was known, or rather stayed in this particular campus, and he was a much loved priest who had worked in the same building which housed St. Joseph's European School of the Jesuits. So from this priest, who was called Germain, he named after his own patron saint Germain, and therefore we have St. Germain's school that we have. The origin goes back to our first pioneer Archbishop Thomas Patakummari. In 1944, he began this school in what was called, the place that was called St. John's Hill. I can't see any hill there now, but perhaps that time it must have been a sort of a mound, and next to the cathedral, St. Francis Xavier Cathedral, and therefore St. John's Hill, that was the address that time, and St. Germain's school came up there. I don't have to say much about St. Germain's because it's one of the most, or perhaps the most loved and most wanted by the public in that particular area, and St. Germain's is one of the best schools of our Archdiocese. It stands as the pinnacle. All the other schools would like to be like St. Germain's. Unfortunately, up to now, our priests have labored very hard in order to keep up that standard, legacy and tradition. I am told that after Father Germain, who started the school, there were many other priests who gave their life for the school. I mentioned certain names because the old people in Bangalore might remember these priests who have sacrificed. Monsignor Stan and Monsignor Pat Araujo, both these brothers. And being brothers, perhaps they had a determination to say that they would put up their best in this particular school. There is also Father Benito de Souza. He had a brother also, and both these brothers were quite active in Bangalore, and Father Benito was the procurator of our Archdiocese and also appointed perhaps earlier as the principal of this school. Father Mervyn Coelho, a great name. Once upon a time there was what's called the Hockey Cup. In Bangalore, the famous Hockey Cup was named after the Mervyn Coelho Cup or tournament. And all the people looked after it, and those who were almost won in that cup or shield, whatever it is, were almost marked for national level hockey group. There was also Father Hilary Pereira and Father Henry Menezes, was manager and correspondent, and then we had our generation of priests, Father Jerem Rego, Father John Rose, Monsignor Jainathan, who was also there and brought up the school very much, and presently was Father Vimal Raj Christopher, who finishes his term. Father Rose, Monsignor Jainathan, and Father Vimal Raj have worked hard to bring up the school and keep the standard, the sports, the buildings, the structures, the ground, the band, and so many other things that make up for St. Germain's. And we are told that though it is only 80 years old, it is regarded as one of the most ancient schools and a school that commands respect in Bangalore. We have about 2,000 children in this school, out of which about 700 are Christians themselves. We would like to give the good education to our Christians, and therefore we encourage Christians to come to this school. I am very much impressed by what's called the Illustrious Alumni, ex-alumni that this school has got. Of all the fields, there are the sportsmen, there are also the industrialists, there are also the medical, the engineers, the doctors, the filmmakers, the film actors, and also perhaps what we call the army people. The highest brass was in our school. I just give a few names. There must be much more. Roger Binney. He's the chairman of the BCCI, the top body that controls cricket, and we know that he was the member of the winning team of the World Cup in 1983. In fact, he is supposed to have taken 18 wickets, that was the highest that time, and because of his efforts, the bowlers' efforts, the batters or the batsmen were also able to do their best, and Kapil Dev brought us the first time the World Cup to India. We also have Syed Kirmani, one of the best wicket keepers of India. He was also part of this team of the World Cup 1983 and perhaps one of the most revered wicket keepers of the Indian cricketing team. We have also Jude Felix, a great hockey captain of India, and he was recently, I am told, honored with what's called the Dronacharya Award, before that Arjun Award, and he was also the India coach for hockey. We also had Dr. Ranganath Nayak, an eminent cardiologist. Perhaps his name means much for many people because he has saved thousands of lives with a heart surgery. We have also the present generation of doctors also, Dr. Thomas Chandy, an ex-alumno, and also the founder of what we call the HOSMAT hospitals, the CEO of these hospitals. There are 2 or 3 of them in Bangalore. He himself was a noted orthopedician. Dr. Farad, whom I am told is the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Enopea Deemed University in Bangalore. And there was also a filmmaker of name Sultan Ahmad, who is supposed to have had 7 national awards who passed from this school. Film actor Vinay Rai also was from this school, and of course a host of army people, the generals, the deputy generals, the army commanders, the wing commanders, major generals, vice admirals. There are so many of them, perhaps I would go on and on if I were to repeat all their names. The results have been always 100%, and St. Germain students are doing all over the world very well in their life. I wish St. Germain's, it's in this 80th year, many more years to come, and Father Vimal Raj, the present manager and correspondent and director, he has also planned a new building, keeping up the facade of the school as it is, because that's a heritage type of building. But the rest of the buildings which are in a little of the dilapidated condition because of the age of the building itself, he has planned a new building costing crores of rupees, for which we will surely seek support from our people. And St. Germain's will go on. It will stand as the beacon of light for us and for the Archdiocese, the best school in our Archdiocese.